With his new enchanted halberd in hand, Zweihaar decides to go seek out the Cyclops, whose minions have been lurking around his forge. He decides to spend the first night of his journey in the coal mine. Wary of the ooze that escaped him last time, he sets up a trap. Sure enough, the ooze shows up in the night. He heats the metal with magic, but the greedy ooze consumes the heated bronze, before once again disappearing into the darkness of the mine. The rest of the journey is uneventful, until one morning he is awoken by the sound of goats. He then spots them, being led by a goblin. Once he breaks camp, Zweihaar heads in the same direction as the herd. The herd leads him to a cave, which is a home to a Cyclops. Zweihaar observes it from a distance, but the Cyclops spots him and approaches. Zweihaar smites the Cyclops with magic as soon as it gets close, then charges the colossal creature. While Zweihaar deals significant damage to the Cyclops, blinding it, the creature is tougher than anticipated, so Zweihaar decides to withdraw. The crippled creature also retreats back to its cave. Zweihaar finds an old abandoned cave to camp in. He takes some days to rest and prepare, and finally returns to the Cyclops' lair and assaults it with magic, causing it to collapse in on the poor blind Cyclops, leaving the crippled creature no alternative but to flee into the wilds. Zweihaar proceeds to loot what little possession the Cyclops had before returning to his forge. On his return, however, he spots 3 figures entering and runs forward to deal with these intruders, who turn out to be hobgoblins. The invaders put up quite the fight, but eventually they all fall to Zweihaar's fury. Will Zweihaar make a Cyclops skull helm? Where are all the hobgoblins coming from? Will he find a way to weaponize goat? Let's find out now on Dicing with Death.
Hello everybody and welcome to Dicing with Death. Ryan, how are you doing today?
That was the longest one on a countdown I've heard in a long time.
I kind of have to guess because they go to the credit screen for a moment and I'm like, I think that's about 5 seconds before, but maybe it's 7 and my counting isn't always exact. Yeah, it's a complicated thing.
You never did have rhythm.
Ooh. Whatever.
Right.
I taught you some rhythm.
And boom, boom, pop, and a boom, boom, pop. All right. So, how's everything with you? Sorry for the late start, chat. I just got in from a talk, a friend's thesis defense.
Things here are quite good.
Yeah.
Life is good. I can't complain. This summer's been nice. It's been really hot, but then we'll get 2 or 3 weeks where it's just sort of raining and thunderstorming all afternoon. And the temperature gets nice and down into the 70s, and then we've got torrential rains, but it's still 70 out with rolling thunder all day and the occasional bright flash of lightning that shakes the entire house. I'm really enjoying summer here in Colorado, in Boulder specifically.
Yeah, well, weather's still better on the West Coast, but
well, everything's better on the West Coast.
Enjoy your thunderstorms.
Yeah, I really like my thunderstorms. You guys get a lot of rain, but you get a lot of lightning and thunder up in the Seattle area?
Seldom. It's pretty temperate.
Okay.
And right now it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect weather to be holed up inside playing Dungeons and Dragons.
What else are summer afternoons for? Right?
Yeah. Talks on DNA nanopore sequencing, followed by rolling some dice.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
God forbid I get some sun.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Or Valisk, though. It's 115 at night where he is.
Is this Valisk in chat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Poor bastard.
At night.
Yeah.
What is that, the surface of the sun. Death Valley.
Middle of a desert in the Middle East. Yeah. Yeah. Terrible. Anyway, where are we? You've just killed some hobgoblins that were invading your home.
Yeah, some nosy, good-for-nothing hobgoblins poking around the forge.
Little bastards, little pieces of shit.
Yeah, and Sayor smote them with righteous fury, but trashed the forge in the process, and it falls to his faithful disciple. Our hero, our antagonist, Zwihard, to put things back together.
Yep.
I'm wondering if I didn't save my character sheet. I've got a sheet. It's got my experience updated, but I don't think I added my measly 1 HP. I'm looking at 18. Can I get there's probably a wiki I can chat and check.
McTacky has been keeping things up to date.
So let's boom. Let's see if it happens to have that. If not, I think I can just look at the roll and see my my beautiful 1.
Mm-hmm.
And add that to my 18
I think you
HP.
had 18 before.
I think so. So I think I forgot to add 1. I think I just forgot to level up my character, which is I think I leveled up after, like, we ended on a battle.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take stock of things. I'll get my character sheet updated, and we'll see what you've got planned for us today.
Planned.
You sound like me.
Yeah. I've mentioned this to the chat before, and one of the times we were waiting for you.
So what have you been doing for the last hour and a half if you haven't been plotting my demise?
I've been bitching about the Underdark and how stupid it is, and how
you didn't have fun exploring the Underdark with me?
We don't talk about that, but not for the Underdark reasons, for very different reasons. But generally speaking, I think the Underdark is pretty dumb. I think someone once had an Underdark and it was really cool, and everyone else was like, oh, let's me just take an Underdark, and now it's just like this default part of fantasy campaigns, but it's not well thought out, and it's poorly designed, and it's just like a series of tunnels and chambers, so it's sort of railroady, and there's not a lot of freedom, and it breaks down when you carefully examine it, and it would be really easy to destroy unless it's run by high level magic. And why do things fucking have eyes in the Underdark if they live in darkness forever? Like, why do we even use vision as a system? Why don't we come up with some other sort of sensory perception to deal with moving underground all the time?
Okay,
you can't just take surface world creatures and shove them underground and be like, they live underground now, it's fine, don't worry about it. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
I always thought they did get the drow's complexion backwards. They should have white skin.
They should be, yeah.
They should.
There should
and
be
maybe no eyes. But I feel like you already had this conversation with chat, and we can skip this.
Sure.
Because I too have strong feelings about the Underdark, and I don't want to derail our session.
That's fair. All right. Anyway, so Zwihard Blacksteel. You are in your forge. Let's get some forging sounds going on.
The forging soundtrack.
Yes. Thankfully, there's actually forging soundtrack. It's great. I love it.
Nice. Tabletop audio.
They make good shit over there.
For all your ambient forging needs. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get everything level up. I think I get a +1 to HP.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah, +1 to HP and +1 to hit on everything.
And I don't think your saves
I get a new weapon
better.
proficiency, which we had decided was going to be you had proved me using for 2-weapon punching, whatever. So probably mostly just so I can actually use my shield punch.
Yes, sir. That is the case.
I swear I typed the stuff last week, and I must have just not clicked save or something. But I at least have my experience recorded. Okay. 3475, which is... Oh, no, I didn't. I don't have my... This is not the... Oh, my goodness. Ryan, I pulled a nick. I've lost my character sheet. You know what? You were at a different house. I was dog sitting. It's on it's on my tablet, which is within reach.
Okay.
So I'm just grabbing it. Right.
He's right there, guys.
Gotta keep the tone of the frame, otherwise. All right. All right, so I'll email this to myself and
Perfect.
get things sorted away.
Great.
But we can continue with the foraging and the cleaning.
Sure. So you've
is
already
anything damaged beyond repair, or was it just a day or so of my time?
No, it's just a day or so. You know, your dust devil went in and kicked things around and just made a whole mess of the place. Actually, why don't you give me a saving throw versus death, and if you fail, like something in the forge will have been broken by the battle and everything being thrown about. And if you roll a 1, like a number of things will have been broken.
Yeah. What am I rolling here?
Saving throw versus death.
Saving throw versus death.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just be a D20. A 1.
Oh,
It's
so yeah, so a
trashed.
bunch of shit in your...
The place is trashed.
The place is trashed. Your crucible has gotten knocked on the ground. It is now completely shattered.
Well, good thing I have that giant stone bowl I nabbed from the Cyclops.
Yeah, and your hammer and a pair of your pliers got like knocked into the furnace, and their handles are all burned up. And like you're gonna need to go and replace a lot of the tools and supplies in here. It's a fucking mess. It trashed the place.
Well, I'll spend the day tidying it and then get started tomorrow reforging whatever needs to be reforged. All right.
And handles of tools are going to need to be recarved as well. You're going to need some woodworking, some metalworking, some dusting, some cleaning, all sorts of shit.
Cool. And I do not have the skills required to craft these handles, so that probably will mean venturing into civilization or maybe deeper into the woods to find someone who can carve these things. Let's get this sent. Oh. Send these to me. Sorry, you can talk for just a second longer while I
Alright, so the other problem with elves is that elves are stolen out of the Tolkien universe, where they're these really long-lived creatures, and they should have a completely different perspective on life because they live for thousands. They live as long as they want, and then they just, when they decide to go to paradise, they just go to paradise. Like, it's not even a big deal. And yet, in all the fantasy books and, you know, many of the books and a lot of the campaigns that I've played in or run or watched other people do, people are just like, well, I want to play this character who's essentially human, but I want to like throw an elf skin on it, so I'll get these like stat bonuses, and maybe I just like meditate and like I live a long time, but whatever, I'm just gonna play it like I would play any other human. Oh, except I love nature all of a sudden, right? And they're just like these shadow of a really cool creature. And it's dumb because you're reskinning humans with stat bonuses and pretending they're all of a sudden somehow better, and you're not actually taking into account the incredibly long-lived nature and how that would change their entire worldview and how things would be totally different. And so I feel like oftentimes elves are really poorly done because they're just pointy-eared, nature-loving humans who just happen to live a long time, and there's no consideration given for what that long amount of time means. There's no consideration given to the fact that they're going to outlive all of these humans, so they're not going to form any long-term relationships. Or, you know, if you live 1,000 years, you're going to see, what, 100... you're going to see 50 generations of people throughout your time. You're not going to get attached to any of these folks. You're not going to care about the same things as them. If you're 1,000-year-old, if you can live 1,000 years, you could easily go to an area and be like, fuck, this place is all screwed up. Whatever, I'll just come back in 200 years and see if it's fine. And you can just like, you can ignore problems that will get solved by time. And it's just, there's a way to do elves coolly, and I feel like they're a cool thing that just get like ground into the ground by half-assed thinking and someone thinking elves are cool, but I'm not going to think about what makes them cool. I'm just going to take like the skin and wear it. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
You're really breaking my immersion with these old man rants, but...
Well, you need me to fill time, so I blame you.
I was hoping fill time with something relevant to the campaign we're playing right now, but that's fine. No elves around here, though.
Yeah. No elves around here.
We're on dwarf quest.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm also pretty battered, actually. I'm in about as bad shape as the forge.
Yeah, you are pretty knocked around.
So I think we're gonna kill some time. I'll tidy as I can while mostly just resting, and berry picking if I can. Who knew dwarves picked so much berries? I feel like we should have modified this to be like good tuber, and I like have to dig for potatoes or something.
Oh, that's way better. Yeah, maybe it's you just get like bulbs are what you use. So onions and I guess potatoes aren't a bulb.
Onions, I love that. I cast my spell on an onion and it makes it.
And radishes and all sorts of other.
So I'm just gnawing on these raw blessed onions.
It doesn't make them taste any better, but.
All right. So what can I? So I guess I don't know if you want to take it day by day as you roll encounter checks or how you wanna do this.
I'm gonna roll encounter checks for a little while. So you just tell me what you're doing day by day, and I'll let you know when the encounter rolls in.
I'm at 3 HP, so I'm healing. I'm gathering good berries.
Mm-hmm.
Good berries. Mm-hmm. And cleaning up the forge. So let's do a roll survival checks to gather
good berries.
Such foods. Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Look at that. It's bright and sunny out and starting to rain. I love it here.
All right. My will is 13. I think survival is, so I'll just take half of that. There may even be a penalty. We'll go with the baseline of a 6. So no luck the first day. I do have rations of food, so fortunately I'm not relying on my foraging skills to provide for me to eat. Mm-hmm. And I think we'll just time skip. How quickly can I regain HP with no healing? Not very quick. I think I get 1 bonus for my con per week. But otherwise, it's just 1 a day. Does full bed rest grant you any bonus without a healer?
Full bed rest gives you your con bonus at the end of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we'll skip a week to start.
Sure. Now you slew all the hobgoblins here, right?
Yeah, there were 3, and I killed them all.
Okay. So the last creature that you didn't kill, that you let go, was the Cyclops, right?
Yeah, there was a hobgoblin a while back that I
right.
Get out and tell his tribe. I think that was the one that served Pythagoras or whatever.
Polyphemus,
the Cyclops.
You're getting really close. That's the name taken from the Cyclops that Odysseus battles in the Odyssey.
Oh.
So this Pytherum that you keep babbling is really close to its actual name.
I know, that's why it's so damn confusing.
Polyphemus. Maybe that'll work. Cool. So you wait. I've rolled a bunch of checks, and the first 5 days pass uneventfully. You just get to chill in your little forge and clean things up, rest up yourself. Mm-hmm. Where are you sleeping during all of this time? Do you have a bed?
In the forge? I think dwarves can just sleep on
cold, hard ground.
Sure. I don't know. I'll make something.
I mean, technically speaking, in the Underdark, there is no bed, so I guess everyone has to sleep on the ground, because what are you going to make a bed out of? There's no wood in the Underdark. You know, the only building materials in the Underdark would be dirt and stone, so, like, everything is going to be super uncomfortable. You're not even have fibers for clothes. Where did they get clothes from in the Underdark? Much less food. How do you feed an entire... I'm sorry. This is what happens.
Fungus. You eat fungus, and you make your clothes out of spider silk.
What does the fungus grow from? Without a source of light, where does the energy for the fungus come from?
Fungus doesn't photosynthesize. That's why it's a fungus, not a plant. It's deriving its energy from the soil. And it's also a magic fantasy world, so who cares? Cool. So can I roll some gathering checks?
Yes, you may.
So I guess we'll do 1, 2, 3. So I get one successful day. I do find something.
Yeah, you find a patch of wild radishes near your forge. I'm going to say that you find a patch of 10 radishes. Now, you can decide to pick them all right now, or you can leave some of them growing. But there are 10 wild radishes near your forge.
Can I transplant them to the forge?
You could.
Does this patch need to be left where it is?
You could. I think they are well grown, so you could probably transplant them without worrying about any of them dying from the transplanting process. So you can bring them in close to your forge.
Cool. So we'll get a little good radish patch going next to the forge.
Yeah, and there are a bulb, so if you want, you could probably split them and replant them and like try and grow more radishes and get your own like goodberry patch
my
going.
Character is an expert botanist.
I mean,
or just a dwarf. Is this included in the dwarf lore?
I think understanding that bulbs can be split to grow again is not. You don't need to be an expert botanist. I'm not an expert botanist, and I know these things.
Yeah, I think but you also live in the age of Wikipedia.
Yeah, but I feel like someone who lives in an age where 97% of the population are farmers would also know this. I feel like this would be very common knowledge.
So let me good berry, good radish, 2d4 of those guys. 7 is if I assume, can a good radish keep going? Maybe not. So that leaves 3 that I probably split and hopefully get started into a patch that can be harvested at some point in the future.
Sure. You have,
so it's,
let's say 6 radishes that can be harvested in, I don't know, like a month for them to like properly split and yada yada yada.
Wait, so you're telling me I can't have any of these now?
No. Okay, so you're gonna split the you get your 7. You've got 3 more that you're splitting.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. So those 6 will be harvestable in like a month because right now they're just half radishes, and it's not half good berry spell.
5, and I'll eat a couple of good radishes. So that was, let's say, 4 days of rations, 8 pounds. And then 1 good berry and 1 good radish. We got a salad going here. 6 radishes, so I'll gain 2 HP. So I'm at 10 abouts now, 5 days in.
Sure. With
I'm
all
still
of
resting
this,
up. I think the forge is tidy, but I haven't made the repairs because I don't want to strain myself.
Sure. And with all of these radishes and salads that you're making, you can give yourself a +10 to your fiber score for the next 5 days.
Don't I need to make a grub skill check? Don't I need to pass a grub skill check?
Yeah, to see if you can even stomach a pure radish diet.
Well, I mean, they're magic. But...
yeah, but still, you're a dwarf. Like, what are you gonna do? Just eat vegetables the whole time? I have a feeling that dwarves are like Texans. They like big barbecue and they despise vegetables.
Ooh, a natural grub skill of 14.
Oh, very nice.
So good. It's like my highest stat. Do dwarves get a bonus to grub skill?
Maybe. I don't even. Maybe for like funguses and tubers.
I guess I've got the +4 on poison saves. So
yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So I guess I'll roll that as a check. Check to pass radish.
Oh.
Radish. Radish is pass. I'm doing fine. I'm a dwarf. I'm bred for living off of tubers. I don't know what you were generalizing that we're all carnivores or something.
I just kind of imagine dwarves as like a combination between Scotsmen and Texans.
Meat and potatoes people. Okay.
So it's been 5 days of your week-long rest.
Yeah.
The forge is in better condition. You are resting. You're still missing some tools. And I think you're like heading up to the surface to maybe go get some water.
Water my radish patch.
Yeah, to water your radish patch. When you see that that dry creek bed near your forge has a bunch of water flowing through it. But
like
it's
a dangerous amount, like a flash flood, or
no, not a flash flood, but it's normally dry unless it's raining, and all of a sudden today there is a substantial amount of water flowing through it, and it is not raining out.
From the north or from the south?
From the north, yeah. It heads a southward directional river. So water is coming from the north side. I try and think back to that fight
with the Cyclops. Did his pool get disrupted in that process, or is this totally unrelated?
His pool did not get disrupted in that process, but it's also been like a week. So if his pool was disrupted and that flow would eventually lead to this creek, then it should have been flowing days ago, many days ago.
Unless it's just a slow trickle. Well, either way, something's going on upstream.
Something.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna wait out to get the week bed rest, get that damn 1 point of Constitution bonus, and just observe the creek.
Okay.
Right. If it starts to rise rapidly and I'm concerned, I'll change actions. But
all right.
For now, it's just a curiosity.
It stays a curiosity, and you rest the next 2 days. Go ahead and take all of your HPs.
Cool. So that'll be 3 more, bringing me to 13. Not quite at full. I'm gonna gobble down all these radishes. Maybe I'll eat 2 more, 1 each day, in lieu of rations, bringing me to 15 out of 19. Probably feeling fresh enough to start wandering around.
Excellent.
So I'm going to, I think once I've got enough strength, I'm going to take a walk up creek and see what's going on.
All right.
So this would have been 2 days, I think, after I noticed the water in the creek. And so I'll load up goat and head out. I assume that the hobgoblin heads on spikes will be enough to deter any interlopers, and I'll journey out.
You adventure following the creek upriver. It does not head in the direction of the Cyclops at all. Your river, your water, let me get the right color here, comes this way. Do you remember what that B stood for?
That's the basilisk.
Basilisk.
Perfect. There's an old mine there.
Right.
With stone. Did I see a basilisk? No, I just saw stone statues. Basilisk eggs, right?
Yeah, there were eggs, and you heard things crawling around in the dark, and yeah, you GTFO'd. Anyway, so it runs near to that area and starts to come up here into this wooded area. And it's up here that you find what looks like a ruined dam.
So this is more than a day's journey away. Actually, I mean, because I can only move 6 miles a day, I think, over hill.
Yeah.
But I think I would avoid the basilisk. I mean, so if I know the area well enough that I could have cut directly to it. Like, do I know the path of? Like, yeah. I think I would have climbed up and over this hill to avoid the basilisk.
Yeah, that's probably it.
So I probably get myself whatever up on this hill here.
Sure.
Overlooking the source of this water. So I'm probably like a mile out as the sun's starting to set.
This map is...
It's not exact, right? Each hill is not necessarily a hill.
Yeah, it's not like these are 5 mile across hills, but it's close enough. It's close enough. We'll do a weird hybrid. It'll make sense. So you climb the hills, and you can see the creek running around way over there and through these hills, and you can look down into the valley below and see between these trees there's like a small pond or lake, and it used to be dammed, it looks like, but now it's blown open. You can see the debris of these logs that were holding it back kind of knocked to the side, and a bunch of rocks and stuff kind of strewn about in what looks like was probably like a big burst where everything flooded, and then the water came to a more steady pace, receding a little bit and leaving the debris of the burst dam all about.
Okay, so I think I will push forward. I'll catch my breath at the top of the hill. Let goat graze a little bit. I'll eat a radish.
Mm-hmm.
Gaining another HP. And under cover of darkness, I will, or as the sun's setting, push onward and investigate this valley and the dam.
Okay. Under the cover of darkness.
But, yeah. Ooh, the sun scorch is not going to do me any good.
You're leaving Goat behind at the top of the hill?
No, Goat can come with.
Okay. So you head down into this valley here where there's this large pond or maybe a small lake, very small lake, surrounded by trees, giving it some cover. And what you're going to look at the dam itself?
Yeah, see, what caused it to break. Is it mostly intact with like a one leak in it, or is it
No,
just
it's
trashed?
blown open. Yeah, totally trashed. Okay. You can see that it was probably a pretty crude dam. There are logs, vertical posts driven on either side of the creek bed or riverbed that comes out of the lakey area, and it looks like they were just logs stacked up behind those and maybe like covered with mud or covered with something to keep it functioning as a dam. And one of the side posts either broke loose or was destroyed, just kind of knocking all of the other posts free and blowing open the whole dam.
Is the post on my side of the river or on the far side?
On your side.
Okay, so I will inspect it for signs of foul play. Was it like chopped into, or did it just fail? Is this just inferior non-dwarven construction?
It was hacked into. You can see at the bottom of it, there's clearly signs of someone felling this log. Now, you didn't notice the initial rush of water, so I don't know how you want to interpret that, but it definitely would have had a large initial swell followed by a steady stream. You've just seen it at its steady stream point.
I think I'll poke around these. Is this like a copse of trees at the bottom of this valley, or?
Yeah, it's like a lake surrounded by like 50 or 60 feet of trees. Maybe not quite that
so I'll
much.
Poke around this lake shore in the twilight and see if there's anything, if anyone's around.
Mm-hmm. The lake is about a mile across, the long way. The narrow way is maybe 1,000 feet across. Give me a perception check, because it's nighttime and you're poking around.
Yeah, what is my perception? 11. No, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I've got my helmet on, it's dark.
It's dark, you're helmeted. There's not much else going on around here right now. You just see this blown open dam. Maybe in the daylight you'll be able to find something, but here at nighttime it's too dark.
Okay. Does it seem like there's anyone around?
No, actually. It seems totally deserted.
I guess this seems like as good a place as any to curl up and sleep. What's the weather like? Do I need a fire to stay warm at night?
I think... Oh, McTacky figured it out that we are in late autumn or winter. He had given us we had said a time of year. When was it? Autumn? Autumn 1509, day 30? It's day 30, Ryan.
Day 30 that we've started the camp.
Right, day 30 of autumn 1509.
Yeah. So it probably is a bit chilly.
Yeah, it's probably like October-ish.
Yeah, if I can gather some dead brush and kindling, I'll start a small fire and camp out here in this on this lakeshore.
Yeah, can do.
I'll take off my chainmail to take the weight off my shoulders, give Ghost a rest, remove his saddlebags, and chill.
You chill. Wonderful. We're gonna just say it's like late October right now, which means that Day of the Grateful Dead is coming up pretty soon. You make camp and settle down for the night. It is a peaceful, uneventful night. Stars are out as much as they can be, and it's lovely. We will go to the next day. You wake up. You are by the lakeside, and the first thing that you notice upon waking up and looking about is that up the lake shore, maybe 300 feet or so, there is a small boat tied up to a tree. And when I say tied up to
wasn't there last night.
yeah, it's like tied up above the water line of the lake, as if it were tied up and then the lake shrank, and the boat is now just stuck pretty high up on the water line.
Interesting. I'll suit up and break camp and then walk over to the boat.
You make it to the boat.
I look inside, look around. Was there a dock that it was tied to that's now like up on the hillside?
Nope, just a tree.
Tied to a tree?
Just tied to a tree.
At the old shore, right? And then there's probably...
Then it's just like dirty, muddy
lake bed.
Yeah. So this boat is of poor construction. It's basically like a hollowed out log that was overly hollowed and then like patched with leather that was somehow like, stapled or nailed to the bottom of the boat and then covered with like mud and stuff. It's a pretty...
I don't think you understand how boats work, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah, it's a primitive construction. Very primitive.
They use mud for glue. Here's your problem right there.
I mean, I guess they would have... Maybe there's some pitch around here in the Hendrikos Hills that they could have used to patch it. Yeah.
Cool. Looks like goblin make or something. So I'll have a look around and look for signs of motion. Are there any footprints or anything like was this like leading away to or towards the boat?
Yeah, definitely. Give me another perception check. We'll scout the area.
Now that I've got some daylight, looking much better. I remember to take my helmet off.
At the base of the tree the boat is tied up to, there is a nasty looking battle axe. It's like a wrought iron battle axe, not even like a pounded and hammered out. Someone just like threw some iron into the shape of an axe and sharpened it.
Just so you know, wrought literally means pounded and hammered out.
Okay.
It means worked.
Sure. I'm talking more of the color of that like crude black iron.
Wrought iron is fine, but it would have been pounded and hammered and not like
fine cast heat treated iron. Then is that better? I don't know. That's not wrought. That would be not worked. Look, the point is, it's a crude battle axe. My metallurgy terms may be lacking, but
don't worry.
It is a
Durnar
crude...
will write us a 30-page post on Reddit correcting all of our inaccuracies.
I appreciate your attention to detail, Durnar. We welcome your 30-page essays. Every last one of them.
Okay. Well, of course I will add this to my supply. To the small arsenal weighing down poor goat. Making it 6 battle axes dangling off of his saddlebags.
And this one is iron instead of brass or bronze or copper. Yes,
interesting.
It is iron. Also, with that 27, you find some old footprints in the mud near where the boat is tied up, where they must have like stepped into mud and then it hardened when the lake receded. And now there's just these like dried footprints that lead from around the boat on either side of the boat, like heading up the shore to the tree.
How many pairs of footprints did you say?
3 sets of footprints.
Well, I equipped this battle axe because it's probably better than brass, even if it's crude, right?
Yeah.
And trudge up the hill. Dragon goat behind me.
Sure. You lose the footprints when the mud disappears and becomes like grassy. So you can follow them for a little while, but soon they just kind of vanish. But there were 3 things that got out of this boat, definitely. And maybe one of them left a battle axe behind?
The battle axe wasn't underwater, right?
No, it was by the tree.
Maybe they left in a hurry? I don't know. That's weird. It's either way, it's been at least 2 or 3 days since they were here.
Finders keepers.
Can I climb? Like, can I get to any vantage and see where any reasonable destinations might have been? Like, get to a crest of a hill and look out for any cottages or mines or caves.
You scout out the area, getting some high ground to look across the lake or kind of moving around to see if there's anything interesting here, and there's really not. The area is sort of unremarkable except for the fact that you have this large body of water in an otherwise deserty environment.
Well, I will circle the lake if that's possible, humming to myself as I go.
Definitely. It's a nice long lake, but you can do so. On the other side of the lake, a little bit north of where you are, or I should say northwest of where you are, you find another similar boat tied to a tree. This one is even worse. It is completely unusable. It looks like it's been broken. There's like a crack running down the side that would make it completely useless in water. And it is tied up to a tree in a similar fashion as the one on the other side of the lake.
Is there any abandoned gear by this one?
There is not. But there are a bunch of footprints around this one. It might be the same number of people, but there's a lot more like footprints going into and out of the boat, as if maybe someone was trying to use it and then left it.
What would you use boats for on this lake? There's nothing you would boat to. I guess you could boat across it.
You could boat across it, and that's about it.
Save some time, go fishing. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1,000 feet across rather than walking like maybe a mile and a half around or whatever. So it's a definite time saver.
If I can follow the foot traffic from this boat, I will. So I'll head a little ways away from the boat, or from the lake.
Sure. The foot traffic heads northeast and is a little bit easier to follow because the northeastern side of the lake is more level, and so there's it's more muddy and soft, or at least it used to be when the water level was higher. You can follow the footprints for a good 300 feet as they lead uphill, or more accurately, they lead as if they were coming down from a hill on the northeastern side, coming to the water. So you're following them in reverse, if that makes sense.
I follow.
All right.
I head up this hill, follow this sort of muddy path that's cut into the hillside.
Yeah.
From what is it, like months, years of travel? Like, how deep is this rut of foot travel?
Recent, probably the same age as the
so
footprints
it's not
on the
like
other
this
side.
is a common route. This is like a party came through here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You get to the top of the hill and look down on the other side, where you see smoke rising from a mound in the ground that is otherwise not noteworthy.
Is it like an out of control blaze, or just like a smoldering mound?
It's like maybe a fire, a cook fire, or a campfire or something. It looks like there's something going on down there.
I'll walk over and take a look around. So this looks like a camp that was broken this morning, or is it still active?
No, I mean, it's coming from a it looks like there's a fire underground. Like there's an underground section.
Okay, so I guess I walk closer to get a look, and there's like a hole in top of the hill.
You can just see smoke rising from like flat ground, and as you get a little bit closer, you can see that there's some rocks arranged slightly to kind of angle the smoke, and it looks like some sort of outlet for some underground fire.
Yeah, I think at this point, Goat's probably wandering around or grazing, and I'll sort of spiral down this hill looking for the entrance. This looks like maybe a goblin cook fire. Could I smell the smoke and get a feel for what's cooking?
Give me a grub skill check.
Or no, not quite. But can I at least discern whether that was a grub skill? So it's a cook fire. It's not like a forge fire. It's not. They're not smelting iron down there. This is. it's a wood burning fire, right? It's not like a forge fire.
No, it is definitely a forge fire. It does not smell like something you'd want to eat at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So grubs go failed. It's like, no, right? Like inhale a bunch of caustic gases, like the.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm gonna spiral down. This is curious. Yeah. Spiral down and see who's.
Sure. Give me.
What's going on here?
Give me an opposed perception check to see who spots who first.
No.
I don't know about
whatever is here. Definitely hears this dwarf clanging around on top of their head, or maybe goat blows my cover.
You guys tie actually.
So we bumble right into each other.
Yeah, I think you both fail and you both tie. So I think it's the sort of thing where you're like walking down this hill looking for this, and when you hear like a noise behind you and you turn around and there's this sort of like if you're coming down a hill, hills aren't like a steady slope on all sides, right? They're confusing and broken up, and there's sometimes sheer things and sloped things and steeps and gentles. So you're coming down like a more gentle area. When you look to your right and see what you thought was like a sheer maybe cliff thing is more of a built-in enclave surrounded by like wood holding back the cliffside. And looking back there, there's a creature who's like getting up and pulling up his pants, who stops and looks at you as you come down the hill, and they're pulling up their pants, and you're both surprised by each other. The creature you see is a big, mean, nasty orc who is literally caught with his pants down while you're literally caught with your back turned to him. And there is a pause as you're both wildly surprised by what you're seeing.
Cool. Are there any other creatures in the vicinity that get the surprise round, or do we just burn a minute as we as I lock eyes with this orc as he's dropping a deuce?
Yeah, you just lock eyes as the orc
I maintain
pulls
eye
up
contact
his
to
pants.
assert dominance.
He maintains eye contact and buckles his pants without looking at them.
I guess let's roll initiative.
Sure. Okay. York will go at 12.
All right, so I brandish the iron battle axe I just picked up and shout, "Foolish orc! Why are you shitting in your forge?"
To be clear, this is not where the fire is coming from. Like, you're on your way to the fire, and this is something that you're encountering on the way. But sure, you can. It doesn't matter.
It sounds like he's defecating in this forge, and that explains the inferior quality of this iron.
And you say that in which language?
Common is probably Dwarven, actually.
Dwarven.
And I probably just whatever would come naturally, right?
Sure. Actually, hey, this orc does speak Dwarven. Low chance, but succeeded anyway. The orc replies back to you, "Foolish dwarf, you've come into our territory."
Does this look like a blacksmith orc or
He's got bulging muscles and no shirt on and leather pants.
Why would you blacksmith without a shirt on? Don't you wear an apron or something?
Oh yeah, he's got he took his apron off to take a crap because it dangles too much. The apron's nearby.
Okay.
But he's definitely shirtless so he can, vent his excess heat more easily and sweat better.
I will walk. So we're not in front of. There's no forge nearby. There's just this orc is away from the forge.
Yeah.
I'm not. So there was a smoke hole, and I assumed I spiraled down from the smoke hole.
All right.
And did that take me around the side of the hill or something?
I'm gonna make a doodle just to the south, like in the plains near Meadstead. We'll make some sense of this. So this is the ridge that you were on, right? And it comes down like hills do on either side, right? So there's a small mound out in the valley where there's smoke rising from, and you're coming down the hill towards this thingy when part of the hillside has like a semicircle made out of like almost like palisade semicircle built into the hill with the palisade part holding the hill back. And there's like a hole dug in there, like a latrine.
Okay.
So you're coming down the hill towards the thing.
I was under the impression I had already investigated the smokestack. But it
only
sounds
from
like
a distance. Yeah.
Okay.
So you're at the latrine built into the hill.
Yeah.
Hell, there could be more to this latrine, but from your instant viewpoint, that's about it.
Yeah, so I ready an attack, I guess, if the orc comes within range, but I'll let him explain himself. So
yeah, so the orc gets his pants up.
What's cooking? And I like nod towards the smoke on the horizon.
The fires of war. We shall soon grind your people into a thin paste, smear it over the bones of the humans, and eat it for lunch. The orc then picks up a spear that was next to him. Mm-hmm. And before attacking you, you notice he like takes it by the handle and like stabs it down into the latrine and then brings it back up.
Fighting dirty. Mm-hmm. I will, how far away was I?
20 feet. 30 feet.
I narrow my eyes. And I think I'm just gonna, I'll use my shield attack to block the spear, and I'll keep my axe attack readied.
Okay. I think the pulling up his pants, getting a spear, dipping the spear in the latrine, that's probably a full round of action, maybe. He's not going for the attack right away.
Apply poison to a weapon would be a full round. I feel like applying...
Yeah, he's getting himself ready, and he's taking his time. He's not rushing.
Does he look like he's preparing to throw the spear, or is he...
No, he's got it in both hands. It looks like it's going to be a melee weapon for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I just stride over to him after his insults. You'll regret those words. At the end of the round, I'll take my attacks.
Go for it.
So with the battle axe, it's going to be a D20 plus 2. Ew, no, go. And I think just a straight D20 for the shield punch. So obviously not a block at this point.
So that'll hit.
And I think a shield does D4 points of damage. I'll roll with that.
That sounds about right.
For a buckler, I think it's D4.
Yeah.
4 points.
Very nice.
Just punch him in the face with my buckler.
It's quite a painful blow. He comes away bloodied. His lip is cracked. There's like a large abrasion across his cheek. He's in quite a bit of pain, clearly.
I guess we'll roll initiative.
Mm-hmm. We will. Where's that D10?
Seven for me. Including weapon speed.
Let me just double check the weapon speed of a spear, because he rolled a natural 2 on his D10 plus...
It might be 4 as well, or is it slower?
Short spear, speed 5, so he gets a 7.
So we tie. My weapons are faster though, but he rolled better. I don't know how we do tiebreakers here.
I think that you close for each other and hack at each other at the same time. So he goes for a top-down stab onto you with...
So in this instance, I will use my shield to block. So, yeah.
Okay,
so that's my battle axe attack. So
that's a hit.
And then would he hit? So there's a block, which is a miss anyway. So if he hits, he hits. Or if he hits my ace, I have AC
15.
Yeah, you aren't allowed to have AC 15 in this edition.
Right.
I've got AC 12, maybe 13 if we're modifying the dex. Okay.
Sure. So he stabs you with the spear for... It's only a measly 4 points of damage, but it does cut right into your shoulder area.
That's all poopy. I guess good thing I'm
You're a hardy dwarf.
Priest and a hardy dwarf. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the dwarfs. Yeah, I'll be fine. It'll be fine. So where is my...
Your battle axe damage?
No, I was trying to look at my weapon soak. Or my armor soak.
Oh,
How
right.
Here we go. Chain versus piercing 3, so I only take 1 point of damage.
Right. It's not too bad.
And my battle axe probably kills him. So is it 20 a crit? Natural 18. He
Yes.
doesn't have armor on, right?
He does not have armor. He's got like a leather pants, but that's about it.
Armor doesn't do anything. He doesn't have dex or a shield.
Nope. No dex, no shield, no combat
so
fighting style.
2d8. 10 damage.
Oh, absolutely. You just hack into his belly and it splits open and he crumples to the ground, poopy spear in hand.
Here, let me relieve your bowels for you. It looked like you were struggling. And I will turn back towards the forge and walk towards it. Is the spear, and I assume it's not a like metal tipped spear or anything?
It is a metal tipped spear, yes.
Seriously, he dipped his metal tipped spear in poop?
Yes, he did. The objective is to infect you. Yeah.
Well, didn't work. I'm a dwarf.
So we're actually going to go to our first break here. And when we come back, we'll see what happens with the poopy spear and the dwarf, and what happens with the dwarf in the underground forge. So we'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye, everyone. If I can get my mouse to work.